Today on Context, pornography. We examine the unsettling issue of child porn, and later, a man who's known as the porn pastor and a former stripper on the porn pandemic. I'm Lorna Duick, and you're watching Context, the show that looks at life beyond the headlines. It was one of Canada's largest child pornography busts. At least 60 people in Ontario charged with hundreds of child porn offenses. Among them, childcare workers and 3 youths. 22 child victims were identified, and as investigations continue, police plan for more arrests and rescues. How should society deal with the disturbing reality of child pornography? And the victims, how do they heal? Let's put it in context. We're starting the show off with child pornography, which is essentially any pornographic image or representation of persons under the age of 18. And our guests for this segment are Karyn Kennedy, the Executive Director of Boost, a child abuse prevention and intervention company, and Inspector Scott Naylor with the Child Sexual Exploitation Unit of the OPP. And Inspector, it was your division that broke this big bust that has really shocked us all. But Karyn, I want to start with you because you don't want us to call this child pornography. Why not?
That's right, Lorna. We don't want you to call it child pornography because it's actually exploitation, sexual exploitation of a child. And every time somebody views an image, that child is being re-victimized. So it's not pornography, it's abuse.
Okay, Scott, at the police station, you charged 60 people with this. Give us a breakdown of the demographic of the citizen you're arresting for child exploitation and pornography.
Well, it's 99% male, and they come from all walks of life, from 13 to 79 was the oldest person that we arrested.
And 13 was the youngest?
Yes.
In this bust of 60 people?
Yes.
13 to 79.
These gentlemen come from all walks of life. It could be your neighbor, it could be your teacher, it could be your, somebody that you work alongside with at work. This is these people's deepest, darkest secrets, and they hold this very close to themselves, and it's not anything that anybody from the outside would know.
Karyn, talk to us about how parents can protect their children, how children can protect themselves.
Well, the very first thing that parents need to do is talk to their children, have good communication, whether it's about this issue or any issue. Create an environment, a relationship where your children will come to you if they have concerns. And then you need to teach your children about what kind of information is appropriate for them to share on the internet. As far as kids go, they need to know that whatever they put on the internet is going to stay there. It's going to be permanent. And there are people who don't always have their best interests at heart. So not sharing private information, not sharing addresses, phone numbers, that kind of thing.
Scott, what kind of things are you warning kids, teenagers about in this?
Well, there's several disciplines that we're trying to warn people about. There's the online luring that we're trying to explain this to parents and teachers and caregivers along with students and young people. But there's also the self-peer exploitation that we're starting to get concerned with, and that's the sexting. That is becoming a very, very big problem in our world. Self-peer
exploitation. I haven't heard that phrase before. What is that?
Self-peer exploitation, and it's becoming very, very common with young people, taking pictures of themselves, predominantly young women, that are taking pictures of themselves and sending it through their cell phone or their personal communication device to boyfriends and other people within their age group. It's a very personal thing, but when the relationship between two people breaks up, then that picture can go anywhere, and that is actually distributing child pornography.
Karyn, that's what you're talking about, speaking with your child, knowing what they're doing, how are you managing then with the victimization of this? How does a family heal that?
Well, the first thing that has to happen is the child has to feel that they're believed and supported, and that somebody is there to listen to them and understand what they have experienced. Children can recover from this, but it's really critical that somebody be there to understand what they're going through. One of the hardest things, I think, for children who've experienced this type of exploitation is that the picture